We are going to solve the problem set now. The first problem in this problem set is show that 3 minus 5, 4, 3, and 11 minus 4 are vertices of an isosceles triangle. Now, isosceles triangle is a triangle in which two sides are equal. If you have a triangle, such a triangle is called isosceles triangle if any two of its sides are equal. So now we are given three vertices. That means we are given the n points. We have to show that these n points form a isosceles triangle. To solve this problem, we take the first point as A, 3 minus 5. We take the second point as B, 4, 3. And take the third point as C, 11 minus 4. Then we use the distance formula, and then using the distance formula, we find distance AB. Then we also find distance BC, and then we also find distance AC and see if any two of these are equal. Now, the distance formula is given by uh, root of x2 minus x1 the whole square upon y2 minus y1 the whole square. It is there in that formula page. So, using the distance formula, distance is root of x2 minus x1 the whole square upon plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. The root is for both. Now, to find distance AB, we take A as 3 minus 5 and B as 4, 3. We call this as x1, this as y1, this as x2, and this as y2. To get distance AB, what do? We put root of x2, 4 minus x1, that is 3, minus y2, which is 3, minus y1, which is minus 5. There is a square there, there is a square there. So we get this as 4 minus 3, the whole square, minus 3, minus minus will become plus, plus 5, the whole square. Then we get this as 1 square minus 8 square plus 8 square. There is plus in between. The formula is plus. So we get it as root 1 plus 8 464. It is root 65. This is distance AB. Similarly, we find distance BC. To find distance BC, we are given that the point B is 4, 3 and C is 11 minus 4. So B is 4, 3 and C is 11 minus 4. Again, we take this as x1, we take this as y1, we take this as x2, we take this as y2. Now we find distance BC. For this, we take root of formula is x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. We substitute x2 as 11 minus 4 the whole square plus y2 as minus 4 minus 3 the whole square. Whatever is there, y2 is minus 4, y1 is minus 3. We get 11 minus 4 as 7 and 7 square, and then we get this plus sign minus 7 square. Therefore, we get this as 49 and 7 square is also 40, minus 7 square is also 49. Therefore, we get this as root 98. Similarly, we are given, now we have to find AC. A is given to us as, in the previous problem, 3 minus 5. 3 minus 5 and C is given as 11 minus 4. We again use distance formula, root of x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. We substitute, in this case this will become a x1, this is y1, this is x2, this is y2. So we substitute 11 minus 3 the whole square plus y2 which is minus 4 minus y1 which is minus 5. So we put a bracket and then we put minus 5. So we get 11 minus 3 as 8 square plus minus 4 plus 5 the whole square. We get this as 8 square as 64, and then minus 4 plus 5 will become 1 square. This is root 65. Now if you observe, our distance AB over here is equal to distance AC. So therefore it's a isosceles triangle. Distance AB is equal to distance AC. So two distances are equal. So therefore we say that the two sides are equal, and therefore it's a isosceles triangle. Now with this the problem is solved. We now move to the next problem. The next problem says that show that these are vertices of an equilateral triangle. Using the same idea, what we show is that we find distance AB, we find distance BC, and then we find distance AC, and we will show that all these three distances are equal. So we take AS 1, 2, BS 1, 6, and CS root 2, root 12 plus 1, comma 4. Our aim is to show that distance AB is equal to distance BC and distance AC. Now to find distance AB, first we'll find what is AB, distance AB. So we have the distance formula, which is given distance of AB as given by root of x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. So in this case, this is your x1, this is your y1, this is your x2, this is your y2. So we get this as x2 is what? 1 minus x1 is again 1, y2 is 6 minus 2 the whole square. This comes down to 1 minus 1 is 0 square plus 6 minus 2 is 4 square. So this is 4 square. So this is 4 square is 16. Root 16 is 4. So similarly we find distance BC using the same formula, x2 minus x1 plus y2 minus y1 square. Now to find BC we take BS x1 y1 and CS x2 y2. Whatever is coming next, we are taking it as x2 y2. x2 is what? Root 12 plus 1. x1 is minus 1 the whole square plus y2 is what? 4. y1 is 6 the whole square. So this comes down to root 12. 1, this plus 1 minus 1 will go. There is root 12 there. Square is will be there. Root 12 survives. This square survives. 4 minus 2 is 4 minus 6 is minus 2 the whole square. Now square and root will get cancelled. You are left with 12. Minus 2 square is 4. This is again root 16 and root 16 is 4. Similarly, we find distance AC. Distance AC. The point A is in this case is given as we saw 1, 2, and C is root 2 plus 1, root 12 plus 1 plus 4, comma 4. So 1, 2, C is root 12 plus 1, comma 4. We'll verify it once. 1, 2, root 12 plus 1, comma 4. So this A is now in this case x1. This is x2, x1 by 1. This is your x2 and this is your y2. So to find distance AC, what we take root of x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. What is x2? x2 comes down to be root 12 plus 1. x1 is again 1 the whole square. y2 is 4 and y1 is 2 the whole square. So this is 1 plus 1 cancel and we get root 12 the whole square. 4 minus 2 is 2 square. 4 minus 2 is 2 square. Your square root gets cancelled. and we are left with 12. 2 square is 4. This is 16. The answer is 4. Now, if you observe that distance AB is 4, distance BC is 4, and distance AC is 4. That is, distance AB is equal to distance BC is equal to distance AC. Since all the three distances are equal, we say that it's an equilateral triangle. So therefore, the problem is solved. Now, we continue. We solve the next problem. We solve the next problem. The next problem is, if P divides AB internally in the ratio 2:1, find the coordinates of P where A is given and B is given. This problem is of section formula and it is of internal division because you can clearly see the word P divides internally. So it's of internal section formula, and the internal section formula is over here, which you can see it's clearly given over here, that if R divides PQ internally in the ratio m is to n, the formula is mx2 plus nx1 upon m plus n, my2 plus my1 upon m plus n. So using this formula, we write down the coordinates of P as mx2 plus nx1 upon m plus n, my2 plus n y1 upon m plus n. Now you are given the 2 points. Your two points are A is 2 minus 3 and B is 5, 6. Wherever is your first point, call it x1, call this as y1, call it x2, call this as y2. And your m and n are nothing but it is given as 2:1, this ratio. So your m is 2 and your n is 1. Now all you have to do is just substitute. So 2, x2 is 5. So 2 into 5 plus n is 1. x1 is 2 upon 2 plus 1. Then again I put, instead of m I put 2, y2 I put 6 plus n I put 1. Then y1 I put minus 3 upon 2 plus 1. So this gives us 2 5s are 10 plus 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, then you get 2 6 are 12 minus 3 upon 2 plus 1 is 3. This gives us 12 upon 3. This plus into minus will become minus. 2 minus 3 is 9 upon 3. This will become 2 4 upon 3. So this is how we get P. Now we proceed to the next problem. The next problem is, find the slope of line joining these 2 points. Now for this we have to do the slope formula. The slope formula is given over here. If a line passes 2 points x1, y1, x2, y2, the slope formula is m is equal to y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. So to find slope, we use m is equal to y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. Here m resembles the slope. So you have 2 minus 3 and 5, 6 as 2 points. This point is your x1, this point is your y1, this point is your x2, this point is your y2. Now you substitute all of them, y2 minus y1, because your y1 already has a minus sign. So that is what, x2 is 5 minus 2. So this is 6 minus minus will become plus 3. 5 minus 2 will become 3. 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 minus 3 answer is 3. This formula is, using this formula we have found the slope. Now it is also now the next problem is about finding the midpoint of these 2 points. Now for this we need to use something called as the midpoint formula. The midpoint formula is over here. If P is x1, y1 and Q is x1, y1, then the midpoint of PQ is x1 plus x2 upon 2, y1 plus y2 upon 2. We use this in midpoint formula. So midpoint is given by x1 plus x2 upon 2, y1 plus y2 upon 2. So the 2 points which are given to us as -2, -1 and -3, -2. We call this as x1, we call this as y1, we call this as x2, we call this as y2. We just substitute all these points. X1 is -2, x2 is -3 upon 2, y1 is -2 plus of -1 upon 2. This is also plus of -3. There is plus of the formula and x2 is -3. So we get -2 plus minus will become -3 upon 2. 2 plus minus will become -1 upon 2. This gives us -5 upon 2. -3 minus 2 will give us -5, because you can add them and the sign of the greater number, and this is -3 upon 2. This formula is also very useful to find if a circle is given and you are given the end points of the diameter. If whenever a circle is given, whatever that passes to right from the center, this line is called the diameter. Suppose we are given as A is the end point and B is the other end point of a diameter. Now, in order to find the center, you just have to find the midpoint of A and B. So I repeat what I have said. The thing is, suppose you are given a circle and you are said that point A and point B are the end points of the diameter. In order to find the center of the diameter, you just need to use midpoint formula for points A and B. We proceed to the next question. Find the equation of a line passing through 0, -2 and the point of intersection of line 4x plus 3y, 3x minus y equals -9. So now, as to find the equation of a line, we have three standard forms. We have three standard forms. The first one is SI, that is the slope intercept form. The next one is slope point form, and the other one is your point form. Now, depending upon what is given in the question, we have to use one of these form. Now, in the question that is given to us, we are given a point, and this is also a point of intersection. So we are given point, so we will use the point form. That is this form, the third one. Now, one point is directly given to us and the other point is indirectly given. It is said that it is the point of intersection of the line 4x plus 3y equals 1 and 3x minus y equals -9. Now, we have to find this point. Now, to find this point, we have to use some theory. The theory says that this note, to find the point of intersection of two lines, solve them by elimination method. So now we just have to solve the given two equations, 4x plus 3y equal to 1 and 3x minus y equals -9 by elimination method. To solve this by elimination method, we take the bottom number, multiply on top, and we take this number in front of x, multiply below. So when 3 gets multiplied every way. So we get 12x, then 3 also gets multiplied to this y, we get plus 9y, then we get this as 3 also gets multiplied here, we get it as 3. Similarly, 4 gets multiplied everywhere, we get 12x, then 4 into -1 will become -4y, and this 4 into 9 will become -36. We draw a line, we change the sign, this gets cancelled, 9y plus 4y will become 13y, and this will become 30 plus 36. 36 plus 3 you'll get, and you'll get the answer as 39. So your y is nothing but 39 upon 13, because you want y, you get y as 39, you divide using calculator, your answer will be 3. Now once you have found y, it is very easy to find x. Just take any one of these two equations, whichever equation you want, you take this, substitute y in that and get x. For example, I take 4x plus 3y equals 1. I substitute y equals 3 here, and I get 4x plus 9 equals 1. I get 4x equals 1 minus 9. I get 4x equals 9 minus 1 is 8, but sign of the greater number, so minus 1. X equals minus 8. 4 will come down. 4 ones are 4 twos are. So x equals minus 2. So with this, I have found the point of intersection as the x coordinate will come first, minus 2, and the y coordinate will come later. So this is my point of intersection. So now I have basically found my 2 points. The 2 points which I obtained are, one is 0, minus 2, and the other one is minus 2, 3. These are your 2 points. Now our aim is to find the equation of the line. To find the equation of the line, we have to use the point-point form. Now, as discussed earlier, the point-point form has its own formula. The formula for point-point form is this one. Y minus y1 upon x minus x1 is equal to y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. So we write down the formula y minus y1 upon x minus x1 is equal to y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. We call this as x1, we call this as y1, call this as x2, call this as y2. Now we just substitute. We put y minus y1 in bracket minus 2, x minus 0, we take it as x2 minus minus 2 upon y2. Y2 is 3, then there is minus sign of the formula, and then there is minus y1. Then we take x2 as minus 2 minus x1 is 0. So minus minus will become plus, you get y plus x, x minus 0 is x, you get 3, minus minus plus 2, you get minus 2. So therefore you get your form of equation as y plus 2 upon x is equal to 5 upon minus 2. This is, we got the equation. We now next move to the next problem. The next problem is find the equation of a line passing through the point and parallel to the line. Now, when you have first thing is we have to identify which form we have to use. Whether you have to use the slope intercept form, the slope point form, or the 2-point form. Now, uh, we are given a point in this case, and when a parallel line is given, it is an indirect way of giving slope. So since slope and point is given, we will use the slope point form. Now as one of the thing is directly given, the slope, the point is directly given, but from this parallel line we have to calculate slope. Now to calculate slope, what we do is that we take the equation of this line, 2x plus 4y equals 6, and we take everything on this side. That means this 2x, but even this 4 will be taken on the other side. See how it is done. You have 2x plus 4y equals 6. So you take 4y equals 6. When plus 2x goes to that side, you get minus 2x. Then I also don't want this 4. Since it is multiplied here, it will get divided here. And you will get y is equal to 6 upon 4 minus 2 upon 4x. So now your slope is nothing but the number which is seen in front of x. Whatever number you see in front of x is your slope. So therefore, the slope of parallel line is minus 2 upon 4, which is minus half upon dividing by 2. Now this is the slope of parallel line. Now we have to use the condition, the note that is given here. The note says that the slope of required line is equal to parallel line slope. That means the slope of required line is slope of line we want. Slope of required line is nothing but minus 1 upon 2. So we have got the slope of required line and we have directly got the point. So now using the slope point form, we have to find the equation. Now there is a formula for slope point form. The formula is y minus y1 upon x minus x1 is equal to m. So we use this here, y minus y1 upon x minus x1 is equal to m. Whatever slope that we have got here, this will become a m. Here the first coordinate will become x1, second coordinate will become y1. So we get the required equation as x minus y minus, this is 3 upon x minus x1 is 1 and m is minus half. That is our equation of a line. We now move to the next problem. Find the equation of a line passing to the point 1 minus 2 and perpendicular to this line. Now again we have to find which form we have to use among the discussed forms, that is SI, the slope intercept, the slope point and slope point. We have to see which form we have to use. Now that purely depends on what is there in the question. Now it is said that passing through this point, so this is nothing but the point, and I already told you, and we know that perpendicular line gives nothing but slope. Parallel line also gives you slope, a perpendicular line will also give you slope. Now one of the thing is directly given, the point is directly given, but the slope is indirectly given. So our aim is to first find the slope using this equation. For this we take the equation, and as discussed in the previous problem, we take this 3x that side, we also take this 8 that side. So we now start, when we have 3x plus 8y equals 12, when we take this 3x that side we get 12 minus 3x. Now in order to get rid of this 8, we take 12 minus 3x upon 8. Now we do it 12 upon 8 minus 3 upon 8x. Now the slope is nothing but whatever number is written in front of x is your slope. So the slope of perpendicular line is, this line is perpendicular. So the slope of perpendicular line is minus 3 by 8. This is the slope of perpendicular line. Now over here it is said nicely that the slope of required line is minus 1 upon slope of perpendicular line. Slope of required line is minus 1 upon slope of perpendicular line. So you take minus 1 and your slope of perpendicular line is minus 3 by 8. Now when you have a number on top and a fraction below, it is the number that survives and the fraction becomes ulta. So you had a number on top and this was a fraction below. The number survived, fraction became ulta with a multiply sign. So this is actually minus 8 upon minus 3. You get your slope of required line as 8 upon 3. So now we have found the point which was earlier given to us as minus 1 minus 2, and the slope we have found it as over here as 8 upon 3. So now we have found the point and we have also found the slope. Now we use the slope point form to get the equation of the line. The slope of point form is given by y minus y1 upon x minus x1 is equal to m. So we copy that y minus y1 upon x minus x1 is equal to m. Whatever slope we have given here, this will become m, this will become x1 and this will become y1. So therefore equation will now become y minus 2, y1 is minus 2 upon x minus 1, m is 8 upon 3. So we get y minus plus 2 upon x minus plus 1, and you get it as 8 upon 3. This is the required equation.